And as I look stunned as I come on, yes, we are live on my BC Consulting Facebook page. And you know what? Today, I'm so excited because I'm going to learn another W5 story. It's going to go in that blank set of Impedias that I'm building all those who's for. And it's connection, collaboration, and community. And that's how you build it. We got to have those strong connections, and then we collaborate together, and then we build an amazing community. So this particular who I met briefly as a connection. So without further ado, oh, it does sound like Dr. Seuss, doesn't it? So please introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Hello, friends and family. My name is Komakech Ogak. I am a student at the University of Tampa, and currently I am studying entrepreneurship and leadership. So I am also have two other things going on. So I was trying to figure out which one to go with first. So I'll just tell you about my uh, responsibility as being a Dyson ambassador. So I am also a Dyson ambassador where I teach and educate the retail associates about the current Dyson products. So anything new in the market and their futures and benefits and how they can help out customers. And as well, I educate myself about the current new technologies that Dyson get out. And I am just super passionate about Dyson and what they're doing today in society. The other thing that I had in mind that was stuck or is trying to come out at the same time as I was thinking about my Dyson responsibility is my business. So I am currently also at the university in the process of creating a business called Simple Homes, where we are trying to recreate the idea of renovating. And what that looks like, for example, is we are trying to get people to take full advantage of their technology to live a simpler lifestyle. So like imagine the Dyson robotic vacuums. So I don't know if many people even know that these days you can use your phone to literally do the cleaning for you. So my mission is to teach people and educate people how to use their smartphones with their smart devices so that they can utilize or take advantage of things like the Dyson vacuum example I just gave. So that's the other thing that I am currently working at the University of Tampa. Thank you.
Wow. Well, those are a
Yeah.
lot of who hats, and you explained to a little bit of what.
Mhm.
So what courses are you studying? Let's go to that who hat for a second. So
Okay.
what are some of your study subjects that one needs to study to become an entrepreneur at university?
Right, right. That's a great question, actually. There is a few things that I have studied, and those things are so financial management. So that is very critical. Just knowing your finance and how to read numbers and what their stories mean really does matter. So because the importance of it is because you can make smarter, logical decisions. And as well, I would say the other things are marketing. You know, when you come up with a new idea, it's important how to reach people and to reach the right people, finding the right leads. So there is a strategy on doing that. And if you don't have that strategy, then you can easily get lost or easily get confused and just find yourself in a circle instead of reaching the right people. And the other two things I would say is communication and
Mm.
also leadership. And those two things are very important because I'm learning currently right now that it's not just as it is important to speak and communicate. and try to get your point across so that you are understood clearly, it is also just as important to listen as well. So those two go hand in hand with business, because when you're in business, you're there to serve the people. You're not just there for the fact that you're passionate about business, but also that you're there to solve a problem. You're there to empower people with whatever solution that it is that you have or that you're working for. And leadership is also important. I currently have been studying leadership since I started my education journey, and I thought it was actually the most difficult because um,
Hmm.
everybody's different, and you have to learn how people operate. You have to learn how to love people and how to motivate people and how to encourage people, how to give constructive feedback. And that always changes. So you have to be sharp and you have to be in your A game. So I feel like those two and the other two that I just mentioned are very important to study.
That's excellent. You mentioned the next is where. Have you always lived in Tampa, Florida? Where else have you lived?
No, so I was born in South Sudan.
Oh,
At the age of 2, I moved from South Sudan to Cairo, Egypt, and then at the age of 5, I moved to Portland, Maine, and that's where I grew up. So for 17 years, I was in Portland, and I throughout the journey, I was just learning how to adapt to different culture and just different environments. So then after 17 years in Tampa, I decided that I wanted to do something bigger than myself. And I just believed that I could do something greater than my resources. So I decided to move to Tampa and explore like what type of education they have out here. And that's when I discovered the University of Tampa. I read up on it and I came for a visit, and I was very astonished by the faculty members and the directors and their stories and what they have accomplished. So that's why I decided to move out here to study at the University of Tampa.
oh, and I showed you earlier when I got on. It's snowing here in Aldergrove, British Columbia, and I'm sure the sun is always shining in Tampa or raining there. So
Absolutely, that's true.
yeah, it's true. So I chilled you down with a little bit when I showed you how the snow was looking like here. So
Made me go
when,
burr.
so when did you decide that this is you wanted to get into business?
Well, it was something that was always around me that I just didn't notice it at first. I remember when I was younger, I come from humble beginnings, so money was always tight for my family. And every time I recall when I was younger, going to my father and asking him to get me something, he would always say like, "I can't do it for you. I'm sorry. Maybe you could find a
Mm,
different way of trying to get it." And he never told me which way to go and get it, but like, um, I just was thinking all the time. I heard no all the time, and one day after reflecting, I was I don't know, something happened and I just got up and I went to knock on my neighbors' doors and to see if I could like rake their leaves. And,
oh,
surprisingly, they said, I remember one of my neighbors was like, "Yeah, you could come rake my leaves. I'll pay you this much and you and I can actually do it together." And I was like, "Oh, this is really awesome." So, long story short, that happened. And then my little brother wanted to come along, and then my cousins wanted to come along and make some money as well. And I noticed that I was able to make money. And then as I got older, I got into doing like music, and I was selling like my merchandise. And then I at one point I had so much inventory and I didn't know what to do with the inventory, and I was trying to learn like how I could get rid of this inventory without taking a loss in my investment. And then I also I founded a painting business with my partner Jeremy, And that's when it got real, and I was realizing like, oh, this is the direction I want to go into. This is the person I want to become. I want to become a business person because I value creating an impact in society, and I'm motivated to serve, and I feel like I'm expected to do uh, uh, great things in this world. So when I started feeling this way, and then also I recall in 2016, after volunteering for Habitat of Humanity and doing a house dedication, and just I remember when we did the dedication, we gave the keys to the lady and how she broke down and her story, and that made me, yeah, that was like the validation that made me say, okay, this is what you need to do.
So you answered the last question, wrapping it up in your often say you have to know your when moment because it turns into your why. And I think you answered it why, that you want to make an impact in the world and
Right.
that you're destined for greater things and giving back in that servant attitude. So wow, it's been an absolute pleasure
Thank
chatting with
you.
you today. I'd like to give a shout out to Connect Now Business Network, to Katie, because he was one of our connections that came in and saw our meeting, and this is how I got to know him. And now I know more about you. Your Who volume in my blank set of encyclopedias just grew a whole bunch more. So we're gonna make sure we put Komakech. Say your name one more time.
That's correct, Komakech.
Komakech information into the comments. So if you want to know more about him, you got Habitat, you got a business, you got Dyson, you got traveling from Maine to Tampa, how to be a university student and what to study when you go to university. He's a wealth of knowledge. So thank you so much, my new friend. Have a very Merry Christmas and
Thank
good
you.
luck with your studies. So thank you.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.